I've always loved art, really. I think when I was younger, my older brother was doing a lot of art. He's a great portrait artist as well. And I used to watch him drawing. And then when I was at school, I just fell in love with drawing at GCSEs. And I used to just sit in my bedroom drawing like CD covers and pictures from magazines of bands. And I just decided that I loved faces. And so then at A-level, it was quite clear that portraits was what I was going to be doing, really. And yeah, just was always drawing from then on. I think I've always really liked faces. I think I've always been a bit of a people watcher, and I spent a bit of time travelling when I was younger, and I've just always been really intrigued by people and how they represent themselves, and I think that portraits are a really clever way of pinpointing things about a person. And when I did my A-levels, there's an artist called Chuck Close that I got introduced to. My teacher obviously realised that I quite liked painting faces and drawing faces. I was more of a drawing back then, sort of pencils and that sort of thing. But there's this artist, Chuck Close, and he did these huge scale, just heads, and it was just zoomed in on these faces. And he did really clever things with paint and like breaking the faces down and the skin tones down. But for me, it was just like this dominating face I found like really intriguing. So I think he was the first sort of portrait artist that drew me in, and I just thought, oh, I'd love to have a go at that. So I didn't really do anything with art after leaving school, after doing my A-levels. I went travelling, I worked in pubs, I worked in hospitality, and I just kind of drew alongside of it, never really thinking it was a career. And then I went to uni when I was about 25 and did an art degree. Out of nowhere, really. I was floundering and did not know what I was doing with my life, so I thought I'll go and do an art degree. But actually came out of it with really little confidence. And I guess I didn't get out of it what I'd hoped for. I think I was quite naive going into it and it wasn't quite the right course for me. But so I still didn't really see art as a career at that point. Went back to just work in hospitality and the corporate world. And then I just started doing some commissions for friends. Sort of someone would ask me to paint their child or something, and I would do, or actually it was drawings at that point. I was doing a lot of charcoal drawings. And I suddenly kind of thought, people want this, and I'm getting a good enough likeness that people were, you know, realising that this is a craft. And I kind of just started to do a few more of those, and then suddenly it was like, hang on, this is what I want to do. This is what I should actually be doing. I can make a bit of money out of this and I can actually potentially have a career here. So took a bit of a leap of faith and started to have a go professionally, and then just things grow, and here we are. I've probably got a couple of pieces, a couple of paintings that I would consider my favourite, mainly just because they're probably more personal to me. So I've got a painting that I did of my friend Millie over here, and we spent some time together. She's a tattoo artist and she's done a couple of tattoos for me, and then I decided to paint her, and we spent a bit of time taking some photos, and it was just a really nice process. And you know, we know each other quite well, but we were still, you know, chatting, and I feel like even in that process we became stronger friends. Because she's an artist herself, she actually painted on a couple of her own tattoos onto the painting, which just made it a really collaborative piece, and it just made it feel really special. And I think she is one of those people that she's a confident, strong, independent woman, you know, but I think I captured a real sort of vulnerability and like the still side of her. I think the process of that made it really special, and I think as a piece I just really like looking at it. And then the other piece that I've always been really proud of is my self-portrait that I entered for my submission for Portrait Artist of the Year that got me into the show. Because I feel like it was quite a, it was just a strong painting, and it was quite different for me at the time. Like I was playing with the light and things like that, and I was just really proud of it. I thought I'd finished it a couple of times, came back to it, And obviously the fact that it got me into the show, which I'd been trying to get onto for 9 years, just, you know, it's a special piece. So I have been applying for Portrait Artist of the Year almost every year since it started. I've been watching it since it started. It's been running for 11 years. And obviously I like portraits, so it's just exactly my show. I was just obsessed with it. And a lot of the artists that I follow and am inspired by are artists that I've watched on the show. And I now watch their progression and I've learned from them. So I just love the show. And it was a great excuse for me every year to do a self-portrait, because actually I don't like doing self-portraits at all. They're really tricky. To confront yourself in that way, there's something really, I find quite horrible about it, but therapeutic, I suppose. So every year I would force myself to do a self-portrait and enter the show. So when I suddenly got a call to say that I was on the show, I was blown away. Like, it was very cool, very cool. I felt I was being pranked at first. But no, it was just great, because you kind of think, oh, it's recognition, and it reinforces that, oh, okay, I am quite good at this. Like, I'm good enough, I can do. It's hard because you don't want to judge yourself by someone else's thoughts of you, but you do. And, you know, as much as I paint for myself, I want other people to appreciate what I'm doing at the same time. So it's a really hard balance. So just to get through was just incredible. And I knew that the experience itself, I've been before and stood in the audience and watched them painting. So I've seen the experience of it, and it's so intense. And watching it made me want to be on it even more, just to be like, oh, what an experience that would be, because it's not my world at all. So yeah, I was very excited, very nervous, very, very nervous to go on the show. Yeah, so I won my heat when I painted Kush Jumbo, who was so lovely, and she chose to take my painting home, which was awesome. And then went through to the semi-final and painted Jolie Richardson, which was even more intense. I mean, semi-final felt like a completely different ball game. It was like, yeah, but amazing. I think what I find exciting about my artwork is actually now connecting with the people that I'm painting, because I did spend a long time years ago where I would just find a reference and draw it. And I've moved on a level, and it really is about the people. It's about sort of figuring out what I see in that person. And also people love to know what you see in them. People are really intrigued to see, you know, how do you see me? And it's always nerve-wracking, because especially if it's a commission and you hand it over, you want them to see themselves, and you want them to, you know, want to hang it on their wall. But that's exciting. And I think at the moment because I've gained a bit of confidence, and I feel like I've gained traction, and I feel like I back myself a bit more now, I'm pushing myself more, and I'm doing things I wasn't doing before, and I've got all these ideas. But I need to start somewhere, and I need to slow down, because you can't do it all. But it excites me to know that, oh, there are some different things that I could be doing, and I'm going to get there eventually. So my work is on my website, pollypincottart.com. I'm also on Instagram, and I have a big cartel shop, which is linked on my website and my Instagram. What's next for me? I think for me next is just keep doing what I'm doing. Keep your eyes peeled for me in exhibitions, because I'm still applying and being rejected from many, many exhibitions. But again, that is all part of the challenge. And you know, you get accepted to one show out of 10, and you've had a little win, or a big win, depending on the show, you know. And I'm just excited to get myself out there more and meet new people, get new ideas, and just see where things go. And your life feels up the room. Then I look at you.